I've decided to curl my hair again, but this time my hair is short. It was even shorter a month and a half ago when I first got it cut. Haven't filmed anything in that time. Similar to last time, today's Friday. Last time I washed my hair was Monday, so we're starting with a great canvas. And I will not be using hairspray. Last time it was because I didn't have any. This time it's because I don't feel like it. I have not curled my hair since cutting it, so this is going to be a disaster. You also probably can't tell given the current state of it having been like 5 days since I've washed it, but my hair is actually naturally a little bit curly, and you definitely couldn't tell when my hair was longer because it kind of weighed itself down. It's not like super curly, it's just got a bit of texture to it. And also it was rare for me to ever let it air dry. I'd usually just blow dry my hair because when it was long it just took forever for it to dry. And I didn't want to deal with it. And when I blow dry it, it straightens itself out. Now that it's short, I usually do let it air dry, and because it's short, it's not weighing itself down anymore, so it actually is naturally a little bit curly. Curly's maybe a bit of an overstatement, but it's like not curly enough to be curly, but too curly to be wavy. Anyways, all this is just to say that I'd probably be better off just washing my hair and letting it dry. That would almost definitely get me a better looking curl than what I'm gonna get right now, but hey man, sometimes you just want to hold a hot iron an inch away from your head. It's also been forever since I've filmed anything, so I feel a little awkward being in front of a camera. The last thing I filmed was the Daft Punk video, which was a long time ago. Pre-haircut, so over a month and a half ago, but even longer ago than that, because it took me forever to edit it because we had about 3.5 hours of footage, I think, and so that was just a very daunting task for me. And pretty much the thing that lit the fire under my ass and got me to finish it is that I got a job, and so I was worried. Well, I was worried about two things. One is that I was worried that there might be something in the employee handbook that would actually prevent me from posting something on YouTube. I didn't think that it was likely, but it was a possibility, and so I was like, ugh, I better get this done before I've signed the policy so that they can't get mad at me if it is against policy. Clearly that's not an issue, and I didn't really think it would be, but you never know. More so, it was because I was like, I'm not gonna have time to edit once I start working. So I posted that probably a few days before I started my job, which was a little over a month ago now. And I had filmed it even longer before then. I think it took me over a month to get it all edited. So it's been a long time. That's good enough for this layer. I don't think I got it all, but who cares? But yeah, that's the other piece of big news. The first piece of big news being that I cut my hair. I have a job now. That's exciting. I'm not gonna go into the details of it because I don't want to dox myself. Certain things should be kept private and shouldn't be shared with strangers on the internet, and I think your job is one of those things. So I'm not really gonna talk about it. I will say though that I have had a moment where I'm like, oh shit, I have to do this every day for the rest of my life. Not in a I hate this job kind of way, but just the realization of like, for the next 40 years, every day, I'm gonna get up early and go to work and then work for 8 hours, or really 9 hours with a 1 hour lunch break, and then, you know, clock out or go home or whatever. Have a few hours to eat dinner and chill out, and then go to bed, and then the next day, I'm gonna do it all again. For 40 years. That's gonna be my life. For 40 years. In the working world, you don't really get big breaks. You don't get a summer vacation, you don't get a winter vacation. Like, it's, you know, you have your 2 weeks of vacation, and whatever paid holidays that your company has. And like, that's it. And every other day of the year, you gotta go into work. Which is kind of, if I'm being honest, it's kind of daunting for me to think about, which maybe makes me sound lazy, but for 22 years, I had breaks. And I guess when I was in college, I was working part-time, but I don't know. It's not the same as like working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. What I will say though, is that when I was in school, I never felt like I could relax. Like, you know, your classes end for the day, but I'd still be like, oh, well, I have homework to do and I have to study and whatever. And whenever I did take time to just kind of like chill out and like do something for myself, I always felt guilty about it. There never really was time during the school year that I ever chilled out. Not really. That's an exaggeration. I definitely did take nights where I just kind of relaxed and like watched a show or watched YouTube or whatever, or taking a day on the weekend to chill out. Like, I did that. I was never able to do it guilt-free, and that definitely takes a toll on you. So I feel like, personally, kids in school really need those breaks between semesters to kind of decompress and like actually have real time to relax, versus working at an office where when you clock out at the end of the day, you don't have to think about work anymore. Like, you can just relax for the night and not think about it until you clock in the next morning. So like, having those long breaks just isn't, I feel, isn't as necessary. Of course, it's still nice to have days off, to have long weekends, to have vacation days. Like, people still need time to relax and decompress regardless, but I don't think that it's as imperative that everybody gets as much time off as a student would get, because in my experience so far, and in talking with other people who are older and wiser than me who seem to agree, like, it's a lot easier to relax when you're an adult. That's maybe the wrong way to word it, because you still have to, like, you know, pay bills and, like, go grocery shopping and clean your house and what, you know, you have all the chores to do as an adult that maybe you weren't worrying about when you were a child. It's easier to distance yourself from your work when you're not at work, versus in school, it's really hard to distance yourself from your classes because you still have homework and studying and everything else to do. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Anyways, talked about that a lot more than I intended to. I think I started this by saying it's been a while since I filmed or posted anything, and I do want to get back into it. I say get back into it as if I ever was filming and posting regularly. I wasn't. I do want to try to take some of my free time to film and post videos. I'm saying this as if anybody cares. Really, I'm saying it out loud for myself, as a reminder to myself, because I genuinely do enjoy talking to the camera and like editing and, you know, trying to make my manic ramblings when I film into something comprehensible. Like, this is something that I enjoy. I think it's a nice outlet. I like doing it. I have fun with it, whatever. I want to keep doing it for myself, but sometimes I forget about it. And so me saying it out loud is a reminder to me to be like, hey, you like doing this thing, you should keep doing it. I'd like to blame me not posting a lot on the fact that I have a job now and I just don't have as much time, but I wasn't really posting beforehand either. Me having a job has contributed to it, definitely, that I just don't have as much free time as I did before. But also, like, I'm not home alone very often, and I always feel really awkward filming when other people are home. And frankly, I just haven't had very many ideas. I don't really know what to talk about. But I am going to make an effort to try to think of things, not for your sake, because I doubt that there's anybody watching this who's like, oh man, I wish she posted more. I kind of doubt that there's anybody watching this, period. So, but just for my sake, because I like doing it, so I should do it. I do think also it would be fun to maybe get some of my friends involved, film a video with other people. It was fun filming with my sibling for the Daft Punk thing, and like having someone else to kind of bounce off of, as opposed to just like sitting alone in a room and talking to myself, which I do enjoy doing. You know, I do that even when I don't have a camera pointed at me. But also I think, you know, sometimes it's fun to work with other people. So if I have any friends who are watching this who want to film something together, let me know. I'd like to do it. Also, if anyone is watching this, friend or otherwise, and you can think of a topic that you would like to hear my thoughts on, let me know. Because sometimes I have time to film a video, right? And I'm home alone and I have free time and whatever, and I'm like, I should film something, but I have no idea what to film, and so then I just don't film anything. So if there's something that you'd like to hear me talk about, something that I've talked about before, or something that you're just like, I like hearing people's thoughts on this, let me know. Maybe I'll do it. I'm gonna kind of run my fingers through it so it doesn't look as insane. It's curly.